Let's talk the club. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk the color. Woo!
Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening. It's Cutler here in the Let's Talk to Cutler Virtual Book Club. Let's Talk to Cutler, 1800 seconds where we spend together these moments. And it's my hope that I offer something that is inspirational, something that's motivational. And if not inspirational or motivational, hopefully something that will challenge us to be our best selves, even in the worst of situations, because those situations do present themselves, but it's all about how you respond that matters. I've been saying that for 6 years. It's all about how we respond that matters. It is the 24th of February. This is the last chance that I get to speak with you during Black History Month. It has been, it's always so enriching for me to walk through the month and to take this time to reflect on my own heritage, and to reflect on uh, history, to reflect on martyrs and people who gave and sacrificed and unspoken heroes. It's always a bittersweet moment, always a bittersweet time. So I want to talk this evening about making sure that you are aware and looking out for dream killers, because I dare say that we all have dreams. We have hopes and aspirations and ambitions, and I talk about that so much. And I want to talk this evening about making sure that you are cautious of dream killers. And I want to pose a few scenarios about what would have happened if certain people would have allowed their dreams to have been killed. So I want to talk about that. But before I do, again, I just want to remind you that if you're just stopping by, catching this replay for the very first time, and you're wondering, what is this guy talking about? What is this platform all about? This platform, again, it is about inspiration. It is about motivation. It is about encouragement. It's about lifting and grabbing the proverbial hands of our brothers and sisters and walking together, saying there's a space and a place that's called better. Let's get there together. It is about all of that. It is about empowering ourselves. It is about looking at what is placed on the offering table that evening, or this particular evening, for us to take so that we can become better after the end of our conversations. We can become better after spending this time together. That's why we have these conversations. And after setting that focus, I encourage you to invite people to come on and let's talk to Cutler. Tell them, come on, let's talk to Cutler. The man is just really trying to help save our lives. He's trying to say something that will make us better. Um, I will shout out the LTTC VIPs in just a moment, but as you're coming to the chat room, come on in, say hello, and it's so good to see you all. I'll shout the LTTC VIPs out in just a moment. But if you haven't subscribed, do me a favor and subscribe. If you haven't invited somebody to subscribe lately, invite somebody to subscribe. And then once they subscribe, once you subscribe, do me another favor, go just a little bit further and click on the notification bell. It lets you know whenever I've gone live, like I am now. And I don't know where it is on your particular device, whether it's down there, there. I don't know where it is on your device, but where it is, find it and click it so it lets you know whenever I've gone live, like I have tonight. Um, you know, I want to again say happy Black History Month to the world. It is my hope and dream that one day Black History Month can be celebrated without any repercussions, or without any negative feelings or implications. It is my hope and dream that it can be one day celebrated by all people. It really can be embraced by all people, just like there are, some other mainstream holidays that are celebrated by all people. It is my hope that Black History Month becomes one of those months where the world, particularly this country, can look and say it's worth celebrating, and stop trying to make Black people prove a point, like they deserve this or they deserve that. Just embrace the fact that you don't have to prove a point. You deserve to be here. You've always deserved to be here. We've always deserved to be here. And the story of how Black people got here, acknowledge the truth of it, acknowledge the ugly truth of it, but acknowledge the beautiful truth of how after we got here, we made and have made and continue to make significant contributions to this country. Um, we've made contributions to the world, the founding of the world, the foundation of the world. So why not be able to embrace and celebrate that here in this country, right? Um, so happy Black History Month. I've been posting on other social media outlets that I have because it's still Black History Month, and I would post a blurb here and post a blurb there. I certainly celebrate the shoulders on which I stand. I always say that. After some years, they became fragile, but they were strong shoulders nonetheless. And I still celebrate that. And I'm so thankful to have known so many of those shoulders. I'm thankful to have known children of a slave. And I know that sounds so like an anachronism, like it's out of place, Cutler, given your age, and it just sounds strange. But when I consider the fact that my great grandfather and his siblings were born in the late 1800s, their father was a slave, and I had the privilege of talking with my great grandfather and knowing some of his siblings. That's amazing for me to think that I literally had conversations with the children of a slave. That's amazing when we think about that. So I just wanted to highlight that. I highlight that just to remind us that the credence of our stories, the believability of the story should remain, because there are many of us who've had not just generational stories passed down from generation to generation, but just a few days ago, we heard those stories and we listened to them. And I remember my grandfather, great grandfather, could never talk about his father without bursting into tears because of who he was and how he had been treated and how he had overcome. And in the midst of overcoming, he was killed. All of those sorts of things. Those are enriching stories, but they are stories that ground me and center me and make me who I am. Those are the kinds of stories that remind me to be aware of dream killers. And that is what I want us to talk about this evening. Before I do, let me just say thank you to those of you who have been with me for the long haul. You've been with me for the longest of time. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the LTTC VIPs who are in the room tonight. I see several of you on. Come on over to the chat and let's talk this thing out together. I promise you, I'm not going to embarrass you. I'm not going to call on anybody and make you come to the front of the class, as it were. But there's certain people that I just want to shout out because you're the first people I see in the room tonight. There's Annie Cutler, who says, "Let's ride." There's Linda Martin, who says, "Good evening. Good to see you back again. It's good to see you as well." And then there's Paula D, who says, "Hello, everyone." So hello to all of you. Let's get this party started. Let's get this conversation going, y'all, because I wonder how many of you can attest to the fact that you've had dreams. How many of you can attest to the fact that sometimes your dreams were hindered and interrupted by other people? That's really where I want to go this evening. Because I want us, as the year is unfolding, understand that as you're writing your dreams, as you are codifying and canonizing your dreams, and journaling your dreams, make sure you write them down. But as you're writing them down, I want you to be aware of dream killers, you all. I really want you to be aware of dream killers, because when people try to kill your dreams, what does that mean, Cutler? It reveals more about them and it reveals more about their internal world. It reveals more about the holes that are in their souls and the holes that are in their hearts, the darkness that is in their spirit. It reveals more about their internal world than your potential. When people try to kill dreams, it says a lot more about them than it even says about what you are potential, than your potential, what you're capable of doing. People act um, as dream killers for a number of reasons, and I want us to be aware of that. Sometimes it's from deep-seated insecurities, and I want to share that. I want to share that. I want to share that in homage and homage to, in honor of um, several people who are rich and steeped in not only the Black history, but the history of this country. So I want us all to have dreams and know that it's okay to have dreams. I used to tell people I made it with two things, and those two things were God and a dream. But I want us to be aware of dream killers, you all. For every dream that you have, and it doesn't matter what your dream may be. Your dream may be to write a book, write a play, to come up with a wonderful recipe. Your dream could be to bring family members together. Your dream could be to travel. Your dream could be so many things. Your dream it could be to put yourself in a different financial position, in a different educational position, to put yourself in a different physical condition. Your dream could be anything. And no matter what your dream may be, hang on to your dream, because there are dream killers out there, and I want you to be aware of them. We're only in the second month of the year. And I want you to think about this. People will try to kill your dreams for different reasons. And that doesn't excuse it, but I want us to be aware of it. I want us to have a conversation. I want us to talk about it tonight, because maybe you know people who are going through things and they've shared things with you and they say, listen, I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z, but every time I try to do X, Y, and Z, I get this confrontation. I seem to get a combative perspective from this one and for that one. I want to talk to those of us who have dreams and find that there are people, and we have found that there are people who try to kill our dreams. I want to empower us to have a conversation with somebody else who may be in our circle, in our space, in our village, who are dreaming, but they find themselves struggling every time they talk about dreaming. On one hand, they're dreaming and they're setting lofty goals, but on the other hand, they are struggling and they feel like they've been set back. Maybe it's because they have to be careful about the dream killers that are in their space. So I want to empower us to have this conversation with other people tonight or after tonight. There are some reasons why people try to kill other people's dreams. Maybe, let's just start, Cutler. Let's just go here. Let's just dive deep in. Yeah, maybe one of the reasons people try to kill other people's dreams is because they're projecting their own fears. They are projecting their own fears. It could be that they have failed. It could be that they have failed and they are afraid to try themselves. So what do? They project their fears on you. You are dreaming, but they are projecting their fear of failure on you because they have failed in the past. Cutler, what do? Learn how to acknowledge their concern. Thank you. I understand I understand your concern, but that is a reflection of your experience, but not mine. I want to help us tonight. I want to help us. Cutler, how do we handle dream killers who are in our lives? I'm not saying kick people to the curb, but understand when you share your dreams, there are sometimes people who are projecting their own fears on you, and you have to say to them, that is your experience, it's not mine. So what might I need to do, Cutler? You might need to limit the amount of information that you share with people. Avoid sharing your dreams with everybody. Avoid sharing your dreams with everybody, because if you avoid sharing your dreams with everybody, then you won't have to deal with their anxiety that they will thrust on you. What else might be going on, Cutler? What could happen, the reason some people might be dream killers is because they're setting a safety trap for you. They want you to be safe. They want you to be careful. They want you to avoid disappointment. They want you to avoid financial shamble. They want you to avoid financial ruin. So they set this proverbial safety trap. But what happens? It becomes this misguided protection. I believe, and I need to speak in my faith tonight. My goodness, I need to speak in my faith. I believe that the one who gives me the dream is capable of making the dream come true. I believe the one who gives me the dream is the one capable of making all things possible. I believe that the one who gives me the dream is capable of reminding me that now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that I could ask, think, or imagine. Never mind this safety trap. You don't have to set a safety trap for me, loved ones, because I'm good. I know you want me to avoid shamble and ruins and all of that, but let me do this. Let me just say this. I'm not looking for your critique. I just need you to be excited. That's how you handle people like that. Just explicitly ask for their support, not their advice. I need you to support me. I don't need you to advise me. I don't need you to critique me. And you just gently, or maybe sometimes not so gently, assure and reassure them that you've got a calculated plan and that you understand the risks and that you're moving forward because you have a faith in someone and something that is greater than you. All right? That's how you handle it. And you just move on. Don't even be offended. Just keep moving on. That's how you handle these dream killers. You said you create your own perspective. I told you it's how you respond that matters. Don't respond with the same negative energy. Don't respond with the same anxiety. Don't respond with the same doubt. But you respond out of positivity and you keep right on moving. Thank you. I understand. But listen, I don't want your critique. I just want your support. Because we got this. And then there are people who become dream killers. Why? Because they have this fear of being left behind. Your success might mean that you grow beyond your circle, you grow beyond your space. And sometimes people have a fear of being left behind. And you might need to reassure them of their importance in your life. Don't be insecure. You're still important in my life. We're good. You've played a wonderful role. This is not about leaving you behind. This is about me launching forward. And so what I suggest to you, and this may be a little hard, but remember I said sometimes we talk about inspiration and motivational, but sometimes we talk about challenging things because it may be necessary, my sister and my brother, my friends, it may be necessary for you to find another tribe of like-minded people who are already where you want to be. Why, Cutler? Because that way, if they are already where you want to be, they don't have a fear of being left behind. Need I say that again? Find yourself a tribe of like-minded people who are already where you want to be, because when you express your dream, they're not going to be so concerned with being left behind because they are already where you want to be. Some people are dream killers. Some people are dream killers. Why? Because of jealousy and envy. Let's just deal with the ugly truth. Some of them are. And seeing you pursue your dreams, it highlights their own lack of action. It highlights their inadequacies, or at least what they perceive as inadequacies. And so it comes then to a space of jealousy and envy. I'm trying to help us understand the people that we have in our lives. And sometimes you're wondering, why are my dreams being delayed? They're not just being delayed. People are trying to kill your dreams. And sometimes they're not trying to kill them head on. They're not trying to be so overt about killing your dreams. Sometimes they're killing your dreams de facto because you are sharing your dreams. And now here they are. Here comes jealousy. Here comes envy. Here comes people creating this trap, this safety net for you. Here comes people doing all of this kind of stuff. And you have to be very careful. And sometimes when you are dealing with people who express jealousy and envy, this is what you do. You let their negativity fuel you. Use your doubt as fuel for your fire. And what do? You work harder, you work smarter, you get up earlier and you stay up longer. But you let that negativity fuel you. Let it become fuel for your fire. That's why people will become dream killers. And sometimes it's about their incapacity and their inability. What do you mean, Cutler? People will become dream killers because of their incapacities and their inabilities. Their inability to do what? Sometimes they are incapable of visualizing your vision. Why? Because it's your vision. Stop sharing your vision with everybody. Sometimes people cannot see your vision. They can only see, listen, people can only see life through their own lens. And sometimes their lenses are limited. That's no slight against anybody. Sometimes the people in your space, in your village, in your community, in your circle, sometimes their lenses have limited experiences when it comes to certain things. Sometimes we have limited experiences when it comes to certain things. But when it comes to your vision, everybody is not capable of visualizing your vision the way that you see it. Stop trying to make them get it. Stop trying to make them see what you see. Stop trying to explain everything to them, because it is your vision for you to see and not for them. I hope I'm helping somebody tonight. So what do I need to do, Cutler? Practice what I call selective sharing. Don't share with everybody. Share it with people who will celebrate. Share it with people who will lay hold to it. Celebrate it with people who will embrace you and encourage you and support you and motivate you and push you and pull you. So it is called selective sharing. I got to keep going. Only discuss these big ideas with people who have the lens and they have the capacity to see these big ideas. Because unfortunately, I think there's this author, Derek Bell, who wrote Faces at the Bottom of the Well, and he wrote about this crab barrel mentality. There is a crab barrel mentality among certain people. There's a certain crab barrel mentality. Because what does it say? If you rise, then it changes the dynamics, and it makes other people feel like they're falling behind by staying the same way. So they have to grab to pull you up, because if you rise, it's going to make them look bad. If you rise, it's going to make them feel like they're falling behind. Let me tell you this. You maintain your humility, but don't dim your light. Maintain your humility, but don't dim your light. My mother didn't necessarily learn to say that so eloquently to me, but she would say to me, don't you stop because of what people say. That's it. Don't stop because of what people say. Don't stop because of what people do. People used to say to me, oh, you think you're smart, don't you? I was academically gifted. I didn't have any arrogance or conceit, but I knew I was academically gifted. And sometimes I would try to play it down, but my mother said, listen, don't you dim your light. Don't you slow down because people talk. Because that was that crab mentality. But you learn to distance yourself from a toxic environment. Learn to distance yourself from toxic people. And learn to say, you know what, I've got to keep on going. I've got to keep on moving. Sometimes people become dream killers because of their own failures. They tried something similar. They failed. And now they believe the goal is just impossible for everybody. They tried to open a business. They tried to open this particular business. They tried to write this kind of book. They tried to do this. They tried to do that. And whenever you try to do that is similar to what they try to do, they say, oh, no, can't nobody do that. They just have this whole notion of past failures. I'm trying to help us, you all. And sometimes you will become your own dream killer because of past failures that you have. Listen, research the reason why your past endeavor failed. Sometimes people will become dream killers because they have this need to control. Discouraging you somehow allows them to keep you in this predictable role. In this predictable space. It's manipulation and witchcraft is what I call it. This need for control. But I want to help you all break beyond that. Sometimes discouraging you helps them to keep you in a predictable space. Dream killers, be aware, be wary and cautious of dream killers. You got to tell people, I heard your perspective. And guess what? I'm not going to discuss this with you anymore. Tell them, I heard what you said. I'm not going to discuss this with you anymore. And sometimes you may need to remove yourself from the conversation, because people will overstep boundaries. Even if you set them, they will not always respect them. So sometimes you have to remove yourself. I'm trying to help us. In honor of Black History Month, let's take a walk down memory lane. Look at Sister Harriet Tubman. She was faced with dream killers, this constant threat of death, physical abuse, physical injury. She was faced with that. But if she had listened to the dream killers, hundreds of enslaved people would have remained in bondage, and the Underground Railroad would have lost its most effective conductor. Black History Month. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah. He was that was a dream killer. There were dream killers. Allies who told him, people who told him, your timing is off. Critics who told him, focus on the local issues rather than systemic change. Narrow your vision, narrow your scope. You're thinking too broadly. Be limited. If he would have listened, may I suggest this to you, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Right of 1965 would have taken decades longer to pass. And this whole philosophy of nonviolent resistance may have never come to a global blueprint, may have never become a global blueprint for social change if he would have listened to the dream killers. It's Black History Month. Let's talk about it. Madam C.J. Walker, dream killers, investors who told her, as a Black woman born to former enslaved parents, told her she could never build a business empire during the Jim Crow era. If she would have listened, we would have lost another blueprint. What kind of blueprint? For the modern hair care industry. And this legacy of this self-made first female millionaire in America who paved the way for Black economic independence. We would have lost all of that. It's Black History Month. Let's talk about it. Katherine Johnson. Did you all watch this movie based on NASA? Let me tell you what this woman's dream killers were. Racial and gender segregation at NASA. Regulated women, relegated them to be human computers, to limit it in terms of what they could do. And they were expected to remain unseen and unheard. They were expected to remain unseen and unheard. And if Katherine Johnson would have listened to the dream killers, go and look this up. The calculations for the first human space flight and even the Apollo 11 moon landing, it might have failed or at least been significantly delayed. Look up Katherine Johnson. Look up Katherine Johnson. And then what about Jackie Robinson? Because maybe you don't know who Katherine Johnson is. Go take a look. Look her up. It's Black History Month. Jackie Robinson. You've heard of him. Dream killers, what were they? Teammates who signed petitions to keep him off the field. Teammates who signed petitions to keep him off the field. Fans who threw racial slurs and epithets and threats. Dream killers. This league has been separated for more than 50 years. If he would have listened, the desegregation of professional sports would have been stalled for many, many years. Would have denied a whole lot of talents countless athletes to remain behind the color lines if Jackie Robinson would have listened to the Dream Killers. I'm trying to help us. What about Shirley Chisholm Cutler? It's Black History Month. Let's talk about it. What were her dream killers? Political peers. Her political peers, people who walked alongside her, political peers who told her she was unbought, unbossed, and ultimately unwinnable. Why? Because she was Black and a woman. Those were dream killers. And if she would have listened, the ceiling for Black women in national politics would probably still be intact today. Ain't no telling. I'm just trying to help us, you all. I just want to remind us. People like George Washington Carver, people like Rosa Parks, people like Thurgood Marshall, if they would have listened to the dream killer, people like Dr. Maya Angelou. What was her dream killer? Her dream killer was deep childhood trauma. That was her dream killer. And if she would have listened to the dream killers, the world would have lost, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. The world would have lost a literary voice. There are dream killers in our lives, you all, who come and they show up in all shapes, forms, and sizes. And I want to encourage us, be cautious, be wary, and encourage other people, be cautious and be wary of dream killers. Suck the energy out of your dream. Be cautious and be wary of dream killers. Every one of these individuals that I just mentioned, I got to go, but every one of them had a reason to quit. And it was usually backed by people around them. They had a reason to quit. But may I say this? Their success wasn't just in their talent alone. Hang on, give me 15, 20 seconds. Their success just was not in their talent alone, but it was in their refusal to accept someone else's limitations as their own. If you haven't heard anything I've said, take that off the plate tonight. Refuse to accept someone else's limitations as yours and go on and dream with your bad self. Happy Black History Month. Let's keep doing what we do, you all. Let's keep building community, maintaining connectivity. Stay safe, stay sane, keep your head up and keep your hopes up and keep right on dreaming and know that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. Be cautious, be aware of dream killers. And until the next time we talk, tell somebody, come on and let's talk to color. The man is just trying to help save somebody's life. Good night, everybody.